All right. Hello, everybody. Let's talk about it's all in the details. When it comes to your chapter, it is all in the details. Uh, and why is it all in the details? Because it's about growth, growing your chapter to increase referral results. We all have competitors. When it comes to BNI, when it comes to your business, everyone has a competitor, whether it's a coffee shop, a restaurant. Some of these are big chain conglomerates. I'm sure some of you are competing with these, even as a small local business owner, but we all have competitors that we are competing against. And the details is what matters that keeps us going. And when it comes to the details, like I said, devil is in the details, right? Uh, your details also affect in a BNI chapter. And in the chapter, what I'm going to recommend is to read The Magic Kingdom. This is a great book to read. It talks about all the different nuances, ins and outs of Walt Disney and what he does in his theme parks, how they really look at the finer points of things and the very small, minute details of a chapter or of their business to help give their visitors to their theme parks and to any of their stores like a really an amazing experience and that first time excitement every time they walk into a anything Walt Disney. So if you have been to any of Walt Disney's theme parks, one of the big things you're going to come across if you have, or you remember, or if you have not, and what you will end up getting is food is a big component to Walt Disney. They really thought about the experience when you walk down Main Street or any other street. They actually will pump smells of the food out into the sidewalk for their visitors that are there to think about food. Maybe that smell brings back a memory of when they first visited or something that they truly enjoy because they know that they can, again, somebody has paid their admission into the park and to add on more revenue they know that buying food and products and merchandise is another way for them to bring in extra money. So he figured out, Walt Disney and his crew figured out if they pump smells out into the sidewalks, that it'll entice their visitors to want to get food to, again, increase revenue. And that smell, again, it makes you hungry. Maybe it brings back a memory or when you were there with your kids, but maybe it brings back a memory when you were there with your parents or a friend or a family. But it's a way to, again, bring in revenue, and it's that small detail. Now, if you go down Main Street at the Magic Kingdom, you will see these horses all lining up both sides of Main Street. Now, these get painted every night. The only reason why they would not get painted is if they will not dry in time before the park to open due to dew point pressure, temperatures, and all that stuff. That would not allow them to dry in time for when the park opens. Because these horses, they get dinged. People lean on them. I'm sure if I remember right, when I was younger, I jumped over them. But they get banged on a lot throughout the day and they get chipped and everything else. So they paint them every night. So that way, when the next day, when the gates open for all their visitors, everything looks shiny and brand new. Doesn't look run down. He doesn't kind of go, oh, I don't really want to come back here because nothing. Oh, I can definitely tell it looks old. They paint these every night to make sure that every visitor gets that wow experience, that first time feeling experience every time they walk into one of their parks. Another thing they do every night and they check on is these horses on their merry-go-round. All of that gold paint that you see is actually 24 karat gold flake paint. You may say, well, that seems a little over excessive to use actual 24 karat gold flake paint, but it is there to give that experience, to be shiny, to really give that wow factor to get visitors a wonderful experience every time they walk into the door. So every time they go and visit, they get on this horse. It's been painted every night to give that shininess, that brand new, to really make it exciting to be a part of the Walt Disney World experience. Now, when it comes to details, again, Walt Disney, if you go to their Hall of Presidents, again, we're not going to talk political, but what they do, if all of their presidents, is they research the clothing and the stitching and the mannerisms of the presidents, and the animatronics are to that president. The fabric is to the era of that president. The stitching in that fabric is to that era of the president. If it is a certain cross stitch and it's hand done, that president's animatronic, their clothing is to that stitching. If it's machined, it's to that certain style of machine. If it's, you name it, the details is so dialed in that the closest you are to one of these animatronics is about 50 feet. And to think about 50 feet away and to still have the stitching of that era is really into that details, as far as really trying to make that authentication to give the experience to that visitor to their parks. So again, there's all kinds of fabrics that they would find and use that fit that era. If they couldn't, they did their best they could. But again, it's all about the look, the stitching, the gestures, the hands, the way that president would hold their hands, the way they move. Everything is all built into that detail. All right, so now you're asking, how does this all fit to our chapter? So as a chapter, there's a lot of details that we forget or we don't think about because it's an everyday thing. Excuse me. And we want to just kind of think about those things because we don't want to make things just second nature, because we do that in our business. You just do things just every day and it's consistent and you forget the reasons why. So one of the things you want to look at as a chapter is your meeting location. Is it clean? Is it large enough for you to grow out of? Is what the parking situation looks like? Do you have electronics, AV equipment available if necessary? If there's food, what's the food like? Is it a really good professional location that can help your chapter be even better, right? Now, the visitor hosts, are the visitors host on time? Are there 15 minutes before the meeting starts? Is the visitor host table up? Is it decorated? Is it have the proper branding? Are the visitor hosts standing at the table ready to greet visitors? Is that at the chapter location? Members arriving on time. Do the members arrive before the meeting starts? Meeting starts at 7 o'clock. Are they coming in at 7:10, 7:15, or maybe 7:20? Are the members arriving on time for that open networking? Because visitors will arrive 15 minutes early for a meeting because they're a little unsure, unclear what they need to do or need to be at. Are the members arriving on time? Another thing, how are members dressed? If the financial advisor is there, with paint all over his shirt, ripped jeans, and flip-flops, I'm not investing my money in the financial advisor. But if they have a suit jacket, a nice shirt or a tie, nice pants, shoes, do they fit their industry? That makes a big difference as far as the visitors that are in the room to see if they want to invest their money or to use another product of one of the members. Are the members dressed to their profession? What does that open networking look like for the meeting? You have 15 minutes. Are all the members just sitting around talking to themselves, eating, or are they up, talking, on their feet, engaged, talking to the visitor, following up on one-to-ones, following up on referrals? Are they up and running? The energy you get in that first 15 minutes of a meeting can set the whole meeting up for the rest of the time. So what is that open networking? We want all the members, all the visitors up on their feet, talking, chatting, again, talking about referrals and one-to-ones. The agenda, the BNI has put together a 20-point agenda that the president is following. President should be on their feet, talking about the different parts of the agenda, following it through, getting it set up so that way the chapter starts on time and it ends on time. That's why we have a 20-point agenda. Is the agenda being followed? Weekly presentations. Are the chapter members all standing up on their feet, giving their presentations? Are they on time? If it's a 30-second presentation or a 60-second presentation, are they finishing in that time frame, or do they continue to go over and ramble? Are they prepared? Are they precise, very specific to what they are trying to sell to get their information out? What's that weekly presentation look like for each member? The feature presentation. So each week, members of the chapter get to give a 10-minute presentation. Does that member look like they know their business? Are they prepared? Do they have paper? Do they have a PowerPoint? Or is it one of those things? I've been to a meeting where the member goes, I really didn't have anything, so I figured I would just let you guys ask questions. That doesn't make me feel like you know your business. Yeah, asking questions are great, but give me some real detail. Like, I would like to know what I can help you with in that feature presentation. And to think that the feature presentation is really for the visitors. The visitors are there. You want to talk to the visitors during this feature presentation. Show me as a member, are you as a member knowledgeable about your business? And that feature presentation does that. And again, the visitor orientation, we do this at the end of the meeting, the last 15 minutes of the meeting. Does the visitor host go out into a separate area with the visitors to go over the orientation to help them answer any questions? And again, this is where we would then just ask them, would you like to join? We enjoyed having you here. We would like you to join. Would you like help with filling out an application? Again, the 20-point agenda has the visitor orientation in it. It's part of BNI. It's part of the BNI branding. And then again, the follow-up. After the visitor leaves the meeting, they go back to their place of business. Does the visitor host of the chapter follow up? Does the president or the vice president also follow up with the visitor? That is going to be another big key. These are small details about the chapter that we tend to forget or we think is happening because it's always happened, and then sometimes things slip through the cracks. So again, these finer details is what's going to make your chapter even more successful. So what details did you see or not see in your chapter? So go back to your chapter meeting. Let's think about what you see, what you didn't see, and how you can possibly improve the finer details of your chapter. Because the more successful your chapter is looking at those details, the more successful your chapter is going to be as far as having more referrals, making more thank you for closed business, being a larger chapter so then you can develop more referrals, more thank you for closed business. So think about it. Go visit your chapters again. Go back, see those details, what the visitor host table like. What's the open networking? What's the agenda? Look at those finer details of your chapter. Again, devil's in the details. So remember, it's all about the details in your chapter. And again, thank you for being a part of our presentation today. I look forward to seeing everybody real soon.